Now we're going to go over a strategy for debugging. Google is perfect for debugging because the internet will make all those bad error messages go away. Someone has almost definitely had the exact same error as you somewhere out there on the internet. Google is really useful because it's also faster than asking the TAs. You don't even have to get out of your chair. You can just open a new tab and find your answer. Kind of the general strategy is just give your error message to Google. With error messages, there's a lot of kind of junk and details, so try to just pick out the keywords in the error message. So C++, error, out of range, error, comparison, signed and unsigned int. Best resources, we talked about them earlier, but C++ reference and Stack Overflow are your go-tos. Those are probably going to be top results anyway. The good thing about CPP reference is it's the official documentation. Everything is there. The con is that it's complex, so you might not understand what it's talking about. Try to find the page or the library function that you're stuck on. So for example, you could say CPP reference vector erase if you're having trouble with the erase function. And here it's just the top result. And okay, we can see some parameters, position, first, last. Okay, parameters are good. Return value. We can just look at this example to see if so now we know if we were doing it right and so on. Stack Overflow is also one of the best debugging resources. Your answer is almost definitely there. You just have to find it. And another thing to note is don't create a new Stack Overflow question because it'll take a long time to get answered and it will also almost definitely get marked as a duplicate. That site's kind of famous for every time you ask a question, they say this question's already been answered and they close it. So don't waste your time with that. Just keep Googling, you'll find it, don't worry. Also with Stack Overflow, you're gonna wanna skim threads. So go super quick, try to find the useful information, and we'll work on an example right after this. And you also wanna read a couple posts first, instead of just blindly following one right away. And now we're gonna kind of go through a little example of what we would do. In here we have, I just have the Lab 9 companion lab open. I've written some code, just my little solution to it. 3 files in here. We're going to go ahead and submit for grading and we're going to see what happens. Okay, first we get an error, something, error cout was not declared in this scope. I'm going to Google it. I'm going to say C++ error cout not declared in this scope. And Stack Overflow, first result. Okay, so this is what I mean by skimming. You want to kind of go super quick. This guy says, put the following code before int main using, let me check if I have that. Looks like I don't actually. So using namespace standard, because that's what this guy said to do. And let's try that out. Oh, so still same error. So it looks like his solution didn't quite fix it. So we're going to have to keep searching. Oh, and he also says, oh, wait, okay. Let's look at another one. Cout was not declared. Okay, this guy's having the same thing. And this guy says, oh, you need to include IOStream. Let's try that. And let's see if it compiles now. Oh, okay, awesome. Well, we fixed the cout errors, so Stack Overflow fixed that for us. Let's keep going to the next error. Let's try hitting that compile button again. It says error passing const something vector as this argument discards qualifiers, and that's on line 116. It's happening right here. Let's Google this error message. So we'll do C++ error passing. Oh yeah, it's actually a recommended search. Awesome. Stack Overflow. Const says this discards quantifiers. This guy's having the same error. And let's look at the solution. He says, your high method is not declared as const. So it raises an error. And he says, I changed to void high const, and now it's working. Okay, let's look at this function it's in. So void remove account. And it looks like this doesn't quite make sense. So let's try putting in the vector keyword. Vector. Because it's getting mad when we try to erase from the vector. Let's try this link in Stack Overflow. Okay, so he's saying, what does this guy say? You are casting of const. You should add const to all member functions that don't modify. Okay, that doesn't quite make sense. I'm going to keep looking. How about this one? This is a Reddit thread, but hey, Google brought it to us. Let's keep looking. And this guy says, void display const is const. You are using something which is not constant. You can make the whole thing constant or try dropping the const. So what if we try getting rid of the const there? Because that's what people keep talking about. Awesome, fix that error. Okay, next one. Next error, person does not have any field name. And that's over in person.cpp on line 5. Okay, well, I mean, that looks pretty normal, so let's think. Let's do C++ error class does not have, notice we don't have to actually put in the name of the class because that's our own, that doesn't matter. Does not have any field named, and this is also our variable name, so Google's not going to help us with that. But let's see what Stack Overflow says. You cannot initialize something, but let's keep looking and see if there's another solution to access it. Pass your data as reference. Okay, so it looks like I'm actually using syntax almost exactly like theirs. That makes me think it may not be the error. I'm going to keep looking. This thread says, let's look at the next error and see if it gives us a hint. Or actually, that one's not quite related. Or down here, actually, because I'm a little bit stuck on this one. In here it says error has no member name. What if we tried Googling this one? So if we said C++ error has no member named. This is pretty similar. Is this one we were looking at just before? No, this is new. So this guy's saying no member named. Similar problem. He was including an old file. We're using Zybook, so I don't think that's our problem. Closing brace. I think we remembered that. Do you have a typo in your .h? Okay, well, let's check what this guy said. Let me check in the h. And, oh, yep, it's a typo. Name. So, thank you, Mr. Vesperto. Cool, now we have even less errors. Let's keep going. And it looks like that top error was resolved by that too. So it really was just a typo. So good thing we kept Googling. Okay, this one's saying it's in CPP, something something erase, okay. So it's in the person.cpp, line 26. This something something erase looks okay. I'm not sure why. Let's just Google the error message. So C++ error, no matching function for call suite. That's also recommended. This seems it's a little bit too general. So let's find some more keywords. So this guy says vector, person, erase, something, something. Let's just try doing vector and erase. Let's put in those keywords. Vector, erase. Because that's what we're doing right here on this line. Okay, Stack Overflow. Okay, his error looks really similar to us. You cannot erase values from a vector directly. You have to use an iterator. You know the index of the element, then you can easily get an iterator this way. But to double check, I'm actually going to search the same thing, but I'm going to say CPP reference, because I kind of want like the official documentation. Oh, and so right in here, oh yeah, I looked at that in the last video. Vector erase. Okay, parameters, position. Okay, I'm just going to look at the example to see if I'm doing it right, because this is what it looks like in mine, and I'm getting errors. Oh, so something begin +2, then he uses a comma. He's using an iterator. That's kind of complicated though, but it's starting to make sense what the guy on Stack Overflow is talking about. Okay, so now I've looked at that one. And now if I look at Stack Overflow again, I think this guy totally was on the right track. Okay, so he's saying this is how you have to give the parameter. Oh yeah, and then this answer makes it even more clear. So okay, erase, begin plus. Oh, and it looks like I even had that, but oh, so they use a plus, I use a comma. I think my syntax was wrong syntax. Let's try that out. Oh sweet, less errors, only one more. Prototype something. I don't even know what a prototype's talking about. Let's Google it. So C++ error prototype, and what'd it say? For something 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 does not match. Or I'll say does not match any in class. That's more specific. And this guy says here, he gives us all his files. You don't have to spend too much time reading the question. You usually just want to look at the answer. Function signature in the source file, which is like the .h, doesn't match the signature of the prototype. Or the source file is the CPP, sorry, and the prototype is the header. Okay. You need to change the int to the string something something. Okay. So they say that the source and the header don't match. So in here it was person get name. So if we look at CPP, where is get name? Here's get name, string, get name, constant. Now let's see if it matches in H. String, get name, not constant. So I think this guy was right. It didn't match. Awesome. There we go. We got 10 out of 10. Stack Overflow solved all our problems, and the internet made our bad words go away.